Yeah. Hi, Michelle, and I live in the 6th Ward.
So we can hear you. We want to hear you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anyway, we have a neighborhood issue, and it's at 18th and Farragut, and that is the 11 bar. I've never been to a meeting, so I don't know if that's ever been discussed, but I grew up in that neighborhood, which used to be wonderful. It was safe. Nowadays, we have stabbings, shootings, we got drugs on the street. They deal them right in front of our houses. You know, a guy died last year from a shooting. A guy almost died a couple weeks ago from a stabbing. So, like, not only are our house values going to go down, we're not safe. We do not feel safe in our homes. So I don't know. We need direction. Like, what can I do?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. We have also been to talk with the law enforcement officers here, agency here, and so we're going to be doing a lot of work this summer. And so we're taking all this information in. Go ahead. Did you have something else to say?
No.
Okay. And so to talk, and again, I can't promise anything, but I'm going to work very hard to make sure that the things that you're saying is communicated, right? And so also with that said, the idea is to talk about things now. So no, there won't be solutions right now. Like today, we won't have a solution right now, but the idea is to hear from people to be able to work towards something. So thank you so much for sharing. And I'm sorry you're going through that. It's a lot of communities going through that right now where it seems like people have disregard for just human life. And it's so sad that people are, and again, not an excuse, but people are feeling desperate right now. People are feeling like they don't have a lot of hope, and people resort to different things, unfortunately, to cope with that or to navigate through that. And again, it's not an excuse, but.
One of the neighbors was really pushing the prior commissioner to get that place closed down, and he said that getting a petition together wouldn't do anything. That we actually had to get neighbors to call in.
So let's say City of Bay City, well, public safety hires 2 community policing officers, and they are like your neighborhood cops. So you should, if you can Google it, the Bay City community policing officer, there's 2 of them. They'll come to your house and meet with you, and you can tell them about what you're experiencing. And then in my case, you know, I had somebody who was like flying down the road in front of my house every night, and they took that information, shared it to the guys who work at that time, and they were able to get it resolved. So I would look into contacting your community policing officer. Community policing officer. So they're different than like the street cops that will pull you over for speeding. Their whole thing is going around neighborhoods. So.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Come to the CDC meetings. You'll learn everything you need to know.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Dustin.
Hi, welcome back.
Yeah, like obviously we need to start having our leadership obviously present at, you know, things like this. An issue that I've kind of been noticing is, like, for instance, like one of our commissioners never talks, like never says nothing. Not going to mention his name, but he never says nothing. I believe he has to vote, so he votes. But for some reason, like, and I'm thinking in my mind, I was telling Kelly, I'm like, I don't know why this guy's even on the commission. He never says anything. You know, so I think like having our commissioners actually involved in this stuff. But the main thing for me is I've been hearing a lot of is call your commissioner, call your commissioner, call your commissioner. You know, and again, a lot of people don't know who their commissioner is in their wards unless you start looking it up, and that's why I started actually coming to city hall meetings. I now go to the CDC meetings as well. And so it's like, technically though, you guys have or I should say the commissioners have represented to represent the citizens. And the last meeting I talked about was like, you're all divided up in wards. There's a reason why you're divided up in wards, so you can help that area of people. Because otherwise, if Miss Kubik is just like 100% talkable and we can relate, everybody's calling her. And nobody's calling this other individual.
Sure.
So we made up wards, right? So everybody has a smaller group of people to get a hold of, talk to, and find out. You know, we're resolving nationwide like issues in a city hall meeting. And nobody's even coming to this table with facts of like, hey, you know, my ward, they're not about this. my ward is about this. My ward isn't. Okay, and then now we can resolve it, because now the city's saying, the actual citizens are saying, hey, we don't really want this, you know? And then if I'm against it, but someone's for it, the rest of the city's for it, well then, you know, hey, that's how it works, right? So, you know, sometimes, you know, one guy, you know, votes for president, it works. The next guy, he didn't. You know, you gotta move on. So I just think that there needs to be more transparency with that and more understanding, because they were trying to say like, well, that's not what it is. Well, if it's not what it is, then we wouldn't have ward commissioners.
Transparency with what? I'm sorry. Transparency
with just the fact like of going out into the community.
Oh, okay.
Being like, instead of like, because I've been hearing all like call.
Oh, you mean what they're actively doing?
Right, call your commissioner.
Okay.
They should be going out into their area, to their ward, to their community, and talking to their citizens. If you know, citizens are walking their dogs or whatever.
You mean not just when they're running, but like actually like all the time, kind of.
Right. I mean, obviously you can't be out there all day long every day.
I'm just trying to understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Right. But like, it's more for them to like get a hold of us and see what's going on and what's related to us, because a lot of us, we get busy. We're not sometimes involved in the community, and it's not done on purpose.
Sure.
You know, I tried to make the time. You know, I couldn't make the last meeting, but I did watch it on YouTube. You know, for the budget situation.
Sure.
But I just feel like that's where the miscommunication is coming. Because we're saying, I heard in the beginning that like there is change, there is things being done. But in reality, when it comes to like the Bay City complaints page, like that's where a lot of the citizens are coming. That's where they feel comfortable and safe to go to. And if you ever notice, a lot of them on there are like anonymous.
Yes, I've noticed.
And even the people replying, and they're actually replying with sense. You know, I don't know if there are other commissioners doing it or what, but they're replying with common sense. You know, but they're anonymous. They're not even, you know. So it's just, I just feel like I don't know. I guess it's just. I don't feel, and from the way I'm talking to other citizens, not even just in this city, but when I'm at work, I work in Saginaw, and they're going through the same thing to like where it's just like, why worry about this? Why deal with this? You know, Michigan passed that new gas tax. Like nobody in the world wanted that. Yep. And then one last thing is like, you know, the last commissioner was talking about to fix our roads, want to do a millage and raise our property taxes even more. Like I can't do it. Like I'm already like paycheck to paycheck. So it's like we're done. The citizens are done paying more money and getting less. It's time to learn how to budget. It's just a couple extra zeros. People do it every day. They budget weekly, yearly, yearly, and monthly. So it's time that they learn how to budget.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, just to respond, I guess, a little bit. I mean, that's a big reason why, you know, you're talking about not being able to see your commissioners. There's a big reason why people say, well, then run for office, you know. And it's not, I'm saying it's the solution always, but what happens when you have a contested race is it forces your commissioner out to go knock on doors and talk to people. Like, because if it's an uncontested race, and I know Laura's not doing this because she's out there knocking doors and talking to people anyway, and she's out here right now, but you know, when a politician has an uncontested race, they take it easy, you know. And if they get an opponent, even if it's not a well-funded opponent or, you know, something they're not worried about, they still campaign more, they still get out and try to talk to people more. And that's why it's important up and down the ballot that we have contested races.
I think what he's putting more emphasis on is not, I mean, everybody does that when they're running because they want people to vote for them, right?
Well, absolutely.
And I think what he's saying is that, excuse me, after that, right, in the after part, like once you get the seat, once you are elected, then where's the connection? And I think that's more so what he's talking about, because we know people do that when they want people to vote for them.
And that's part of it too,
yeah.
Right? You know, I promise you, the 5th Ward is going to know who their commissioner is. Okay, there's going to be 5 of us out there.
Are you saying if they vote for you, they'll know?
I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about whoever the heck wins this jumble is going to have to talk to everybody like 3 times.
But again, that's when you're running.
And so And so just by very nature of having to win such a contested race, you have to get out there and have to talk to people. And yeah, if you think one of us is just going to be, I'm going to snooze for 4 years and see you then don't vote for us, But, yeah,
Right.
no, I hear you. Absolutely. And that's why we have recall petitions too.
But I think there's some validity to what, and I love that people are sharing this, because I think there's some validity to that, right? This idea that, of course, when you want people to vote for you, you're connecting with them, and so what happens in the after, and that's a valid point to make. What is the connection after that takes place? Once you secure that vote, then where is the connection? And I think that's super valid.
Right,
so
because
all you all run and listen to that, right? So
I do want to touch on one thing that Dustin did say about.
Please.
They brought it up at the last meeting, and it's coming. There's going to be a road millage in Bay City. There's no way for us to fund the roads that we have. There's no way for us to maintain the roads that we have. So and here's the only way. I agree, but the only way that a millage will pass in this town is if we do it just like the county did with the swimming pool. The goodness of the people in this city, they will support it if you're honest with them, if you're transparent with them, and if you can show them where every single dollar's not going to administration, if it's actually going to, this dollar's going to fix this road. And I truly believe that the people of Bay City, if you present them with a millage and say, look, it's going to cost you $50 a year or whatever the number is, if we can make it palatable and we can actually be consistent and show them exactly where the money's going, there's no other way to fund the roads.
I get that too, and I just think that a lot of people want, and I know that we may not be able to explain that to them, but where people want to know where the money did go, you know what I mean? Even though it's not this particular administration.
And that's true. The state revenue cutting to local municipalities, I'm surprised more cities have not gone bankrupt, because it's a huge number that every single city has lost. And we can blame it on the DoubleTree. We can blame it on Hereford and Hops. They're all horrible investments that the city made at some point in time that we're not going to get that money back. But we also have to be realistic that $2 million a year is not going to fix a road in this town. It's just not. And that probably just cost my campaign, but I don't care. We got to be honest with ourselves.
Yes.
We have to have these realistic conversations.
Though it's like people are already angry with it because like obviously prices of everything else.
Absolutely, we all are.
Like
Absolutely.
mortgage was starting off at 525 all the way up to 550 or 759.
Yep. I know.
In 2 years, and it's just like
I know. Our utility rates have gone up. Our everything. It's not going to go down.
I mean, that's across. I mean, that's everywhere. And listen. I'm living this life too with you. And so the thing is that this is the thing though, right? Is that you look at both sides of this and you say, I'm stretched on this end. I don't have anything else to give. But then we also say we need you to fix the roads. And so we have to find some type of way to do that, right? And there is money somewhere. Where it is, I don't know. I'm not in that department, and I do think transparency is important. But I do think as citizens, we do have to understand that we can't have it both ways, right? We also want to live and be able to thrive, but also if we want things to happen, it has to happen some type of way. And I do like the idea of transparency. And listen, this is really what it's going to cost. Like I can show you this is what it's going to cost and where it's going to go. And it's not just going to pass somebody's pocket, but it's actually going to go to this space and that space. And unfortunately, it takes money to get this thing going. I mean, it just is what it is. And so, but I think that where people's frustration is coming from a lot of times, not only because it's hard, we all have been feeling that, but I think also there's been a lack of transparency, not necessarily just here, but just in general when it comes to funding, right? And where our funds are going. You give and you give and you give, and it's like, okay, where did it go? So I think that that's a great point, and I like what you brought up, and let's keep working towards that. I mean, Paul?
Yeah, I just wanted to finish with a resource on this exact topic. It's been nearly a year since it was presented at the City Commission, so we might be due for another one. But there was a presentation before a City Commission meeting with, here's our exact road budget. Here's how it's laid out. Here's where we're currently at. It had some education stuff, and there was something called like a PASER score, which is great to learn about. It talked about like what level of road quality is and how it's cheaper to keep them like nice and not have to rebuild it from the bottom up. And they presented this table where it's like, if you want to get back to where it's cheap to manage the roads again, we would need 5, 10, 15, 20 more $1 million a year. And like currently at our current rates, they are actually getting worse. That score gets worse every year. We need more money just to have them not get worse anymore. So however this discussion goes, however we tighten that belt, however that decision's made, this goes back to the city needs to be much better at communicating this information, like communicating what's going on. That's one I would encourage at least you to check out, and I would expect a new one soon.
It was literally.
Did I just miss it? I missed that meeting.
We have budget sessions coming up.
Yes.
I invite everybody to these budget sessions because it is laid out in detail. Look in there, ask your questions online.
You gotta think about how did it get to this point?
Right.
And that's where the citizens are like, they're fed up, they don't want to come anymore, they're like, y'all do nothing but lie to us. You tell us all the time that, because that's how we always get our money. Villages, property tax. It's not ever getting done.
Well-
Same thing with the bridges, we end up having to sell our bridges, and we're going through that. That's done over with, it is what it is. But to hear, like, at that last meeting that you're talking about, sir, was like, they're talking about, did you know that we have to fix these bridges? And then we get money, they give us the money back. How long does it take for us to get the money back? How much money do we have to put into that one bridge that may need a fixing? And then again, how long does it take to get that money back for our own city use? Because these people bought these bridges or leased them, whatever happened. Why aren't they the ones responsible for fixing that when we already have our own issues? So when we look at all of our roads, these roads didn't deteriorate in 5 days, or like a year, 2 years. It took time for this to happen. Nobody was fixing our roads. They didn't care about our roads. That's when the citizens are starting to say, no, I'm not going to vote for this millage, because why would I vote for this millage? Because you couldn't take care of with the money that you had previously.
So then would the solution be to just not fix the roads? Would that be the solution?
I mean, I'm almost at the point now where like dirt roads, if you go to counties.
Dirt road, please, no, I don't want to go there. No, I'm being silly.
Say something stupid to get realized how stupid something else is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think there's a terminology for that. When you say something crazy off the wall, but all you're doing is getting the reaction to let that person know how crazy off the wall their question or whatever it was.
I guess my question is, so and we can put a pin in that, but my question is when we add, and this is in general, right? When we ask for solutions, and if people give you answers to the solutions, if we don't like that answer, then we have to come up with a different solution, right? And we have to offer something to be, because what I found is that a lot of people, and this is not towards you, this is in general, right? That a lot of people have a lot of gripes with a lot of things, right? Even right here in Bay City. And that's cool. You live here, you should speak up about things. But then also the question is, then what is the solution, right? And that's the thing, and that's what we're going to work on, is that if we don't like the solution that has been given to us, if we don't like the mileage, we don't like this, then what is the solution? Because at the end of the day, the roads need to be fixed. None of us want to drive over crappy roads, okay? I know I don't like it, nobody likes it. So then let's think about that. How do we make that, what is the solution then? If the people don't like the one that's given, then we have to offer something else, or we either don't have new roads or whatever the option is, or we have to take the one that's given. We have to still offer something. That's all I'm saying. So we'll stop on that for right now, because we can talk about that more. But I just really want people to think about that, right? When we don't like what they give us, then we have to come up with something else, or we have to just deal with either what they gave us, or we just deal with the crappy roads. right? That's the thing, right? So, okay, thank you. I appreciate your
Can I add
dialogue.
something to that real quick?
Yes, and then I promise it's your turn. I don't. What's your name?
Shane.
Shane, you're next. I promise.
I just want to jump in real quick. I think that kind of goes back to like these are all very valid questions.
Yeah.
Like I completely get where he's coming from. And I don't know if you're in here when I mentioned it earlier, but like part of the problem that we're dealing with in Bay City is the city was built for way more people than we currently have right now. And that's part of the reason why the infrastructure that we have has become so much harder to maintain than it was in the past. And I think that that's the problem, right? Like we have declining population, we have crumbling infrastructure, we have, these are the issues. And we kind of have to work backwards from like, how do we solve that problem? I think there's a long-term solution and a short-term solution. And like the long-term solution is, why don't people want to live in Bay City? Why have people been leaving? Why aren't we bringing younger people in? Why are a bunch of the kids that I went to high school with getting out as soon as possible? Like, we need to start asking those big picture questions and find a solution to that. And then in the short term, we need to find, and this is the harder one to answer, how we fix those problems in the short term, how we deal with the roads that we have, with the population that we have, with the tax base that we have. Like that's the more difficult part.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the where we're at right now with, hey, let's try for a millage and let's be transparent about it and let's show people. And like, we're not gonna tell them like, here, you have to pay this many taxes. They vote for it. That's up to the people. And I think we can kind of deal with all these things simultaneously, but like without looking at the big picture, it's like, where did the money go, right? And if you look at like the population trends, it makes a little bit more sense. And if you look at like where the industry has left, it makes a little bit more sense. So like there's not one silver bullet, it's all these things at once.
But they didn't keep the roads up, I think is his concern.
Right,
It's like,
right.
when they
And
did have that money, they didn't keep the roads up. So then what?
That's very possible. And I think, you know, I don't know, I guess that's a harder thing to where, especially when we talk about the bridge problem, like we can point blame in all different directions. There's plenty of blame to go around. There's plenty of problems to place blame on people for. I think the more difficult reality that people have to deal with, and people in power and everyday people too, like these are the problems that we have right now. We have to deal with them. And it's unfortunate we were dealt a shit hand.
Yes.
It doesn't feel like it's getting better anytime soon. And I think like once we can acknowledge that, hey, we're all in this together, this is where we're at, these are the conditions that caused it, then we're able to kind of unpack that and maybe find some solution.
No, I agree.
Right, and then now
I
we
agree.
when we have a better administration, we are all still stuck on the decades of bad stuff that happened, and they're getting punished for the decades of, you know what I mean, bad. So then they're looked at like they're just shit people too.
And I think that goes back to what we touched on earlier. Is that's why we need certain leadership in the room that help make these decisions or have more knowledge about these decisions, because what happens is that we all can guess on why things happen the way they happen. We can, you know, create rumors or falsities and all these different things. But the idea, the point is that if the people who are actually the change makers in those rooms, you know, kind of say, this is how this looks. Because I don't think a lot of people understand how like processes work to make things happen. Like there is a lot of steps that takes place to change things sometimes. And all we see, and I say we as a citizen, is the problem and that it's not being fixed. We don't understand that there is a process to that. But I think that if the process was better explained,
Yep.
so people can
Because I
better.
think that's what people are sick of. I think people are sick of being told, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. He just wants his road fixed.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, he probably wouldn't be here if the roads were so shitty.
And he wouldn't be here if he didn't care.
Right,
Right. And so
exactly.
he obviously cares. So yes.
There's problems, and I think like people just need to be more comfortable being uncomfortable and having uncomfortable conversations. And like it's gonna be tense, and like we're not always going to agree.
Yeah.
But like I'm sick of people in power doing like the finger wagging thing and being like, you don't know what you're talking about.
No, I
so
agree.
get out of the room. Like, okay, improve their life, like fix their problem.
Yes.
And maybe you wouldn't have so much of an issue
The
with
leader
it.
has to be open to talk, and then the people on the other side have to be open to listen. We have to be open to each other.
Right, and also be mindful that like these city commissioners make like $8,000 a year. Like this is not a cushy gig.
But they knew that going in, right?
Right.
And so
Yes,
we
true.
understand that, right? I mean, they knew that going in, so you are right, but then also,
Yes.
Shane, go, you got it.
Hey,
You got it.
I don't really come to these meetings either, but first I want to say, Mason, run for governor, okay? Straight up. A couple things I want to touch base of. I live on the west side.
Okay.
And so this bridge, obviously, we all know about the bridge. We're all hearing about it every single day.
We can hear.
The one thing that I had to reach out the other day to Bay City Public Safety, they sent out a community officer. They took it as a laughing stock. I have a daycare 2 blocks from me. The fire station's right there too. Even the firefighters that are there will tell you, I have people speeding down my street. My nephew almost got hit by a car,
Oh, I'm sorry
and the
to hear
guy flicked me off. I wanted to chase him down and beat the crap out of him, but I decided not to.
I'm glad you did not.
But I am getting to the point where I'm going to throw a spike strip soon. It's just that the Bay City PD doesn't take it serious. The only time I ever see them is uptown, and that is ridiculous. The same issues with people that we have, like the bums and the drug addicts. I picked up 152 needles in the past 2 years in our state parks. 152 used needles uncapped. Tell me this is not a problem. Our children, your children, all play there.
Yeah.
Why is it that our city people who mow and so forth, and I've watched them walk by it on a weed whacker, he just looked at it and kept going. Pick it up, throw it away properly. I've called the police about it. They laughed. They said, what do you want us to do? I don't know, do your job. You know, same thing. I called the state police in the other day because the neighborhood, they keep running that stop sign and everything else. 2 state cops came in and did their job. Started pulling people over left and right. The only time I ever see our cops is at the time of the month where they start to pull people over in unmarked cars. That is it. I don't see them. Why? I want, you know, the whole community wants answers. We're out doing our job. We're out volunteering, cleaning up. I personally, my partner and I, the only reason I'm here is my partner forced me to come.
Oh, well, don't say it like that.
We go out every weekend that we have off and we pick up garbage
Yeah.
that I see city workers just driving right by, they don't even care. Their own garbage men from the city people will dump garbage and leave half the trash can all over the road.
I hear you saying that you want the people that are leaders in the community to have a little bit more pride, you feel, to care
More
about the
pride,
community.
get out there, you know, and it's sad because everything has politics in it. Why can't we just do a block party without no politics? Get the community together, have a barbecue.
You should do one.
We've tried, and we get shut down because it's blocking stuff.
Well, you do have to go through legalities and stuff like that to get permits.
Who do you go through? Because if you go to call them, you just get sent through the ringer.
Well, there's ways to do that, permits and stuff, and to go through. So that's easy information to get, right?
There is, and if you contact your Citizens District Council, they can apply for a community grant from the Community Foundation. They have micro grants to do things just like that.
So
connect with Shauna right there.
Yeah, and so so there are ways, and that's the beauty of speaking it, right? Is that there are people in the room that can give you information to help you out with that. Did you have something else that you?
Yeah, there's another thing that came out from Bay City Public Safety, and this is a laughing stock to me. This is a year to date from, I do believe, 2021 to 2026. If I remember correctly, the name Justice, in 2025, he was brutally murdered. Why is that saying only 1 murder in 2026 and the rest is all zeros? We've had more murders that I know of. There's a kid that was like 24 years old, shot, killed behind the party store over here on the other side of the bridge.
Yeah.
That was in 2024, but it's not on there.
You're saying that's not up to date. It's not.
They just sent that out this year.
Okay.
It's not up to date. It's not correct. We're being misinformed.
Okay.
You know? So, I mean, I guess I just want to hold people accountable and ask them. You know, same thing with our city council. I mean, just like we talked about, not one of them is really here. Why?
Well, there are people here in the room, and we're going to work on that. We're going to work on that. And so, but I listen. I am a person. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Shane. I am a person that I don't. How do I want to say it? I don't determine success by numbers, right? I think the people that are in this room are powerful enough to start change, right? And so I am super happy with tonight. I am super happy with the conversation that's going on today. I think it is transparent, and we are being honest, and we are being real and respectful, and it's great. And what we do is we continue doing this. and we do ask the questions, and we're gonna jot all this stuff down. I'm gonna go back through and watch this again and jot things down, and we're actually gonna like do something with it and try to get it to people, get answers. 'Cause I don't know all the answers, I don't know all this stuff, but there are people, not only in this room, but other places that I can go to and say, hey, this person wants to know, how do they do a block party? They can't afford it, they wanna get the right permits, what do they do? And then they say, oh, you go down here and you do this, or you apply for this, and the foundation has different micro grants where they can do it. And then I can say, okay, Shane, this is how you do it. And that's how sometimes it has to happen, right? We don't know all the answers, but we can work together to make that happen. Yes.
Hi. Long time since I've been on this side over here. Craig Oakley, Second Ward Commissioner. I have a lot of notes. I'm all over the place. I am not organized in what I want to do.
That is okay.
First and foremost, if you have an issue, call. I'm a very approachable person. If I don't get to it right away, I will call you back. Going straight to Facebook just escalates everything with misinformation. People from all over the city will call me, not just my ward, other wards. Hopefully your commissioner will respond to you, but that's always the best avenue to start off with. The roads, I know what we're doing is not working. I've said that publicly. We're chasing our tail and we're not ever going to catch up to it. $600 million to fix it. I think our tax base is 24 million. I will have to look at that. And of that, I don't think very much goes to the roads. I actually asked the question last meeting, 93% of it comes from the gas taxes and the rest from the CBG money. So I want answers. I'm trying to get answers for that. I'm in the same situation. I ran for office because I was upset. And it took every ounce of courage I could. Yes, you do get harassed. Yes, you get threatened. But if you have that passion, go for it. You're serious. It's there. I love this city. I'm going to fight for it forever. There's no doubt about it. I'm looking for answers as you guys. Contested elections. I encourage them. I had actually ran a contested election. I had to knock on every door 2 to 3 times and talk to people. 25% answer the door. It gets frustrating. Cycle back. You learn so much from talking to people. I do not hold anything against somebody that's uncontested. They did their job. Other people just chose not to run.
Sure, yeah.
And that's a fact with that. But knocking
I don't know,
on
Laura's
doors.
just too intimidating.
Scared of Laura.
Believe me, you get thrown off. You get, bit by a dog. But it's just.
Oh, did somebody get bit by a dog?
It's just stay vigilant on it. I would have been here earlier. I had meetings. We had meetings tonight. Basically, what you're saying, just work group meeting and another commission meeting. So they are happening. It's just we're trying to figure things out. City manager, 51 people applied for it. That should say something about our city. It truly should. I mean, how many are qualified?
That's a fantastic number.
But it tells you there's an interest in coming here. This place is beautiful. I mean, there's so much more we can do for it, and I want us to do it. Every time there's an issue, remember, there's 2 sides. When I hear one side, I'm going to hear the other side also. It's weighing both sides and trying to make the best decision possible for the city. We just need to focus on local issues. I know I don't talk a lot, but I end up talking all the time. We're all looking for answers, but we got to remember something. It takes money. I agree with, if we do a millage, or if we look at it, we have to be clear on what the money is going towards. If we're going to do it, if we're spending $2 million a year now on roads, that needs to continue, and the millage will be plus that.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it will be up to the people to choose. It's just like, other things. If we let the people decide and that's how it comes out, that's how it comes out. The people have chosen. I'm huge into that, making that happen if we can. 25%, talk more.
It's all like written all the different ways.
Bridges. City employees do the work on the bridges, then we bill them for that. So we're keeping the city, and I will have to cross-check that, but we're keeping our city employees working, and then they'll get us back with that. I wouldn't bet my bottom dollar on it, but I'm pretty sure that's information I have on that. That's why it goes that way. So not only are we getting the money back, but we're keeping our city employees working, which is a good thing in that aspect too. That's it. Any questions for me? And like I said, I'm going to talk. I'm always here to talk, if anybody knows me.
No, I think we all appreciate that, yeah.
Whatever happened to the match grant idea that was presented in a commission meeting about the road funding? What happened to that?
So the $5 million, it's there, and they are using it. It was part of the presentation that we just had. I think half of it is going to the match grant, 2.5 million of that is going towards matching grants, so we can double that money. Yeah, it's there. It's moving in play.
We never, that's what I mean, we get these ideas presented, and then we never hear the back end of it if it moved forward.
Right. Yeah,
it leaves us out here
it was
not knowing. That's why I'm like, what happened to that idea? Because it was sound, right? It's supposed to snowball itself, and eventually all our.
And it's still there.
Okay, that's.
I mean, we actually talked about it last meeting. It was presented with there, and that's the plans with it. And it's just keeping vigilant and keeping an eye on it and so forth.
I keep hearing you on the call. Is email not a valid way to contact?
So yours, I found yours. They were going to.
And that's the other questions. I kind of figured that maybe that's what was happening.
I just checked my spam, and you had a couple in spam.
And I kind of figured, but I wanted to make sure that it wasn't like, no, email's not really.
989-671-7412.
There's his digits. Give him a call.
Text him or call him late at night. He loves that.
Or call him late at night.
After 9 p.m. prime time.
And like I said, I still work with kids and stuff like that. I'm retired, but I will get, I for one will get back with you and I'll talk.
No, appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Oh, not a
Greg.
problem. All right.
Yes, thank you. And then, yep, come on up. We are getting close to time, and I'm so sorry. I'm not going to cut you guys off. I'm going to give you all, I'm just letting you all know if we go a little over, it's because I want to give you guys your time.
All right, my name's Tom. I'm
Yes.
here. I've only been a citizen, well, I've only been here for 2 years. I moved from Detroit here. And basically what I'm thinking is, and nothing against commissioners, Mr. Mayor, or city managers, but I basically think that the whole political system here in this town needs to be changed, basically maybe to a mayor, city council position where the mayor would actually have the most authority, because there would be better transparency, there'd be better explanations of everything.
Yeah.
And they've had this type of government going on here for 40, 50 years, and it's still in the same.
The last charter passed in 2019, so there were like some changes that were made. I know there was talks about like going down in the number of commissioners, removing the mayor position, because here it's kind of symbolic. I will say that like having an elected mayor that does like the day-to-day work as opposed to a city manager is kind of hard in a city of this size. I think the smallest one in Michigan is Flint. And that's, I think, about twice the size, 3 times the size of Bay City in terms of population. So like that is kind of a stipulation. I get frustrated with it because I think the city manager should be required to live in the city. The problem is state law threw that out. It was brought to the state Supreme Court. So like there's a lot of pieces to that. Craig's got something.
We're trying to make an incentive in the contract for the next city manager to live in the city. We can't force them. We're trying to make an incentive. We talked about that.
Is that true about the 18,000 the city paid to go search for that man?
Yes,
So we're trying, we can't force them.
But thank you for sharing that.
System, but all the other problems
Thank you for sharing that. Did you have anything else that you wanted to say? Sure. Okay. Did anybody want to?
Just as a reaction,
Thank you.
Because we changed the system. So
I personally am very happy with the council manager form of government. I know it's frustrating when your manager is an elected person, but most of the day-to-day running of a city is administrative type stuff, and you want a hired professional to be managing all that stuff. The thing about elected officials is if you get a mayor who isn't a great manager, you just deal with a poorly managed town for the term of that mayor.
Yeah, but how is that lady worth $150?
Well,
$155.
Listen, I'm not talking about that specific situation. What I'm talking about is
the form of government.
As a form of government, it's much better to have a hired professional manage the day-to-day of your city and having the community set the policy, which is what we have right now. Now, if things aren't working, that's still a easier fix than having a politician running your day-to-day that's doing it poorly. you know. So that's my
I do like the incentive of them living here, though. I think that's nice. I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Right.
And we talked about it, we can.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing
And
that.
I tried it, and the $155 an hour, I know it sounds like a lot, but
So I should sign up for city manager. What do you have to
It's a
do?
lot. It would cost us more to bring somebody else in, and they would demand 40 hours a week with it, and we have what we know, and they're just getting us to the finish line here. It's not,
Sure.
you know, it's less, because there's transitions within City Hall. 'Cause, you know,
Yeah.
people
There's
are-
a lot of stuff happening in Bay City currently. Yeah, that's for sure.
Hi.
Hello.
So I actually wasn't going to attend this. I am Bay City by address, Bangor Township by linear lines. I'm like 2 blocks. And recently have talked to some people on the panel about getting involved in politics and such like that. And it is a complicated system and hard to learn. I'm learning very quickly. The one thing I want to point out is Bay City is a county seat. I grew up in a rural community where the county seat was the biggest town in the county. The county then supported what was happening in the town to make sure that the county seat could keep functioning. When you think of the bridges and things like this, I've used this analogy a lot, it's a layer cake of really bad decisions going back decades. Like a big chocolate cake that you get at like Uno's, like there's lots of layers. But when you are looking at your city commissioners, don't forget to look at your county commissioners. It rolls uphill. The debates about the bridges and things like that, there were some people who passed the buck because it wasn't the county, it was the city's issue. County commission meetings are at 4 p.m. during the week. They're not inclusive, they're not accessible for everyone. I think it's important that, I'm a county resident, I can't vote in Bay City, trust me, my husband even offered to let me move. We're still married. But it's something that it goes higher up. The issues that the city is dealing with are bigger issues. I'm a county resident, I crossed that bridge. I have been stuck on that bridge. The mayor has heard my opinions on that bridge every Tuesday at Rotary. When I have to cross it to go to a meeting, I think there's a lot of residents who are deeply impacted by some of the decisions that the city's had to make, and there are other elected officials that have really gotten off kind of easy. So don't be afraid to start calling your county commissioners. Your county commissioners, if it gets hard for them, they're gonna start talking to state legislature. And they're gonna go to your state reps and your senators and say like, hey, my constituents are giving me a hard time, we need to fix this. I told my son recently, he asked what I do for a job, I told him I'm a professionally registered problem. Like, just keep contacting those people and keep going up the line, because if it gets harder for them up the line, they're gonna go up the line and try to get it fixed at the state, whereas where some of these issues have really started with revenue and things like that. So that's just my recommendation in kind of learning through this process. And reach out to advocacy groups too. We are stronger voices together than we are individually.
Yeah,
thank you.
I'll add to what Carrie said. Very specifically here in Bay County, so many bad decisions happen at the county commission, and nobody is watching. The meetings, like Carrie said, they're 4 o'clock on Mondays or Tuesdays.
The 7th, I think.
Oh, it's absolutely terrible. They're completely prohibitive, and a lot of boring things happen at the county level, so people don't really pay attention. But a lot of important things happen at the county level. And they really fly by night because nobody keeps an eye on it. And so here, very specifically where we are, the county commission is not getting enough attention for all the wrong reasons.
I agree.
Thank you. Do you have a comment?
Hi. I think it's really great that so many people showed up for this, and we had a lot of really good opinions about different things. And I just want to support Carmen. I know her because she joined our CDC, and I want to support that. It's a great idea that she had. It's one meeting a month, and it's only lasts for about an hour, but you get a chance to meet people face to face, and also some of our city employees, including community policing, show up at those things. So you make some contacts, and it can go back beyond the meeting. You can get stuff done, and so that's a great thing. And what she said about the opening the comments section is something that I believe in. Now, I listened to what Mr. Copley said, and he doesn't want people going to Facebook, and I understand there's reasons for that. But I remember when MLive got rid of their comment section, and that was one of the biggest disappointments for me personally, because certainly there is a lot of noise on there.
Sure.
But it's a place where a commissioner can get on there and be, not reveal their real name, but provide some legitimate information. And if you go through there, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. You can find some really important information just by communicating. Now, we talk about being a welcoming community, That starts in your heart. We have to, as people, open up and start talking to other people, whether we agree with them or not. Just be polite and show some humility and get to know our fellow neighbors here in this town. And we have this wonderful thing uptown at River's Edge. I mean, they're talking about the roads and everything. There's it's like a city within a city. They got brand new roads. They got brand new apartment buildings. They got businesses. It's amazing. And that's how it's done. You can do it. And that's Shaheen. That's private. That's private. That's not government that did that. That's private enterprise. And if you can Google Mr. Shaheen, he's the elder has passed away at this point.
Yeah.
But he was a remarkable man and a very wonderful human being and a wonderful example of what we can aspire to as citizens to contribute and give back to the community. And it's people that make the difference. And I always think of the Amish, When somebody's barn burned down, the whole community would come together and build a new barn for them. I mean, you can do it. And I just hear over and over again, it's always money, 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 money. And I really get tired of hearing that. But thank you so much for putting this together.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Chris, did you have a comment?
All right, I know we're at 8 o'clock. We're a little bit over.
Yeah, we'll take care of you.
All right, thank you. I want to thank everybody who came out tonight. I want to thank Shauna from the Bay Area Community Foundation for helping sponsor this, right? Let's give her a round of applause. I am, Well, it's important because I appreciate Aaron. Let's give Aaron a round of applause. Because we all care about the community, right? Regardless of how we got to this point, we all care, right? And how do we take this energy and take it into our neighborhoods and get people excited about our community? And I listen to all of it. I do take it all in. As mayor, I hear the voices, and it chokes me up because I really do want to see everybody in this community succeed. And we all have to play that part, right? We all have a part in that. No matter what level, I am not afraid to reach out. Amy called me out in a video, right? She said, "Do better, Mayor Gerard." I've known Amy for a while. And guess what? What did I do? I said, "Amy, let's go sit down. Let's talk about it." And what do you have? You have the budget, so you can look at that piece and to kind of figure it out. I'm not afraid to talk to anybody, and we need to embrace that, irregardless of our perspectives. Reach out to me. So many times, on Facebook, you kind of get a little bit beat over the head. Reach out. Let's sit down. We need to sit down together and break bread. Not just in this room, in all the rooms, right? Because we have a great community. We have passionate people here. Let's embrace that so we can all succeed together. I'm looking forward to the more conversations. It's important to keep these conversations going. So thank you, everybody.
You sit down, Chris.
Chris
did this last time. He did this last time. He took over. So listen, Chris. You don't get to close it. No, I'm kidding. Listen. Chris, he does this to me all the time. Not here. You are a community resident while you're here. You could be mayor half the time, but the other time you can be resident. But listen, thank you all so much. I do appreciate you guys. I really appreciate you all for being so transparent and open. I really hope that next time we can dig a little deeper, right? Keep digging deeper. And I'm confident that we will have solutions and that some of the things, we had some solutions tonight that people just didn't know. And by saying it, we were able to help with that. And I hope when you have your block party, you invite us so we can come to the block party. We'll show up. But thank you all. Listen, I appreciate you guys deeply. And again, as I stated at the beginning, for some of you all who came in later, the only way for this to succeed is if you guys show up, right? We should be having to open up the upstairs because there are so many people. Tracy shared something earlier about how many nonprofits are here, how many leaders, how many community entities are here. We should all be here, have one representative from each space to be able to talk about different things. And I really firmly believe that when more people feel like they are being listened to and not talked at and talked to, that's where change starts. It's not about the money, it's not about the powerhouse, it's the fact that people feel like they are not being listened to. And when people show up to listen and to talk and engage, that's where change starts, in my belief and what we've seen, right? So, again, I appreciate you guys. We will be back here May 19th. Invite people. We want this place filled up, not because of numbers, but because we need the people that need to hear it to be here, and then other people who have voices and concerns to be here. So I appreciate you guys so much. Have a great night. We will see you all next month. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Is there not a